I never imagined my marriage would unravel like this. Not in shouting matches or doors slamming shut, but in something softer. A whisper, a silence that said more than words ever could. It happened on a Sunday morning, the kind where time feels suspended and the house is thick with stillness. Cassandra, my wife, was in the living room, speaking in a hushed voice on the phone. I had just come in from the garage with a bag of tools. I wasn't trying to overhear her, but something about the weight in her tone made me stop just out of sight. Her words floated out like a quiet confession. I can't stand him. I don't even know why I stay. And then she laughed. That laugh hit harder than the words themselves. It wasn't shaky or apologetic. It was easy, unburdened, almost joyful, as though telling the truth had set her free. I froze, not furious, just hollowed out. 7 years together. And I thought we were still pushing forward, still trying. Yes, we had cracks, but I believed we were rebuilding. Standing there, I realized I was the only one still holding on. I slipped back outside, sat in the car, and just stayed there, listening to the cooling tick of the engine. I let her voice loop in my head again and again until it carved something open in me. I didn't confront her. Not that day, not the next. Instead, I started to watch more closely, to see what I had refused to admit. How little she spoke to me unless it was out of necessity. How her gaze never left her phone at dinner. How my attempts at humor fell flat. How her hand no longer sought mine. And then it hit me. I had been keeping us alive by myself. I planned the outings. I wrote the notes. I made her coffee every morning. I thought I was nurturing us. But she hadn't drifted away. She resented me for it. That realization settled into me like lead. And with it came clarity. Not rage, not revenge, just the truth. Quietly, I began to prepare. I made copies of documents, opened an account in my own name, rented a small apartment she didn't know existed, met with a lawyer, and I waited. One evening, she came home late, said she'd been with friends, offered no details, no warmth. She tossed her bag down and passed me like I was an obligation she was tired of fulfilling. That night, while she slept, I packed a small bag, just enough to start over. On the kitchen counter, I left the divorce papers with a note on top. You said you hated me. Now you don't have to pretend anymore. I set my keys beside them, walked out, and closed the door without a sound. No fight, no spectacle, just an ending. The next morning, I kept my phone off for hours. When I finally powered it on, the messages came in a rush. First, what is this? Where are you? Then, we need to talk. Don't do this. Later, you misunderstood. That's not what I meant. And finally, please, I'm sorry. But I knew better. I realize there are things I can forgive. An argument, words said in anger. But I can't stand him isn't something you blurt out by accident. It's something you've been carrying for a long time. And once it's spoken, it's the truth. I didn't leave to hurt her. I left because, for the first time, I believed her. And when someone shows you the truth of their heart, you don't fight it. You accept it, and you walk away. I rebuilt slowly, piece by piece. No explosions, no grand gestures, just quiet. And in that quiet, I found something I hadn't felt in years myself. The real ending wasn't the papers on the counter, the empty apartment, or the unanswered messages. The true ending came the moment I stopped begging to be loved by someone who had already decided not to, and chose, finally, to love myself instead.